Hello everyone and welcome to the 2021 Discraft presents Sun Kings Throwdown the Mountain number 9. This is the FPO division, the third and final round. Going to bring you all 18 holes. This is the front half as I bring you commentary and all of the action from this Sunday morning final round at this PDGA A tier. Sarah Hokom is out in the lead, and it's a very comfortable one at the moment, but we all know the Grand Canyon course can shake things up real quick. Hokom with the 7-stroke advantage over this woman, Elaine Widboom. Elaine, like Hokom, a predominant forehand thrower. And putting herself up there within putting range. In fact, that might be a park job for Elaine. Trying to put a little pressure on early. Here is one of the most decorated and established players in all of disc golf history. Of course, that's Elaine King. And then earlier in the weekend, we saw her travel partner and significant other in Trevor Harbolt. This is Courtney Cannon, Team Discraft member. She's sitting at plus 10. Elaine with not too much going on there, except for just trying to get it laid up right underneath the pin. Courtney trying to fight her way up. And she's got to look at the basket from there. This hole does play shorter. In fact, quite a few of the holes out here are of a different distance and maybe a little bit different look from what we saw from the previous MPO rounds. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of that coverage as well, as Sarah pops it up onto the top and looks like she should be in good position to save the par. This is Courtney for her par. Can feel maybe a little bit of nerves going on for the short putt on the opening hole. Sunday morning, a long weekend of golf. Sarah will convert. She'll remain at 6 under. Sarah had an incredible 2 under to open the tournament and then came back out and shot the hottest round out of everyone at 4 under. And Elaine will tap in for the birdie. And actually, I'm going to immediately correct myself. She shot the 4 under during first round and then followed it up with the 2 under. Either way, her math is still at 6 under. And just like that, Elaine Widboom's caught up a single stroke on her. Now we're moving over to again a slightly shorter tee. This remains a par 4.
I did it again, but I don't know how I got through that.
And it's worth noting, both Elaine and Sarah, very much forehand throwers. That's not really a secret. So seeing them go to a backhand is not a common thing, but both of them have been very diligent and been working on their backhand game. So it's great to see when they're trusting of that shot and ready to bust it out. Elaine, quite the opposite. Even though she has a very long and storied career, not much of a forehand thrower. It's just a shot she's not entirely comfortable with, at least not off the tee. Maybe a little bit more likely to see that in an approach situation. Courtney also very, very powerful with a forehand throw, but here she goes to the backhand, just playing down to the opening. All 18 of the pins remain in the exact same places. None of those will change, but like I said, we'll have quite a few tees that are different. So essentially all the danger on the green will remain intact for every hole. Easy pitch up for Ellen. Courtney goes deep but stays short of that OB barbed wire fence. If she wants to bring it in, she can bring it in up to 2 meters away from that fence. Easy pitch by Elaine. And Courtney really just playing smart here, realizing that it's not worth running that putt. As you can see, very, very treacherous green. And Elaine picks up her first birdie of the round. Courtney not quite dialed in. Unfortunately, she's looking at a bogey. This is Ellen for her birdie. Looking to go 2 for 2 to get things started. Sarah immediately recognizing that Ellen's bringing her A game, so she'll answer with a birdie of her own. And we'll hope for Courtney to settle into her own. Big shout out, of course, Discraft, along with Sun King, your presenting sponsors here at the tournament. Here's another backhand by Ellen, and I like it.
Ooh, that looks like road. Oh, man.
I believe Ellen, Sarah, and Elaine played now all 3 rounds together. Sarah going with the backhand as well. So this hole, very similar to what we see from the MPO side. It's just moved up. I'm not sure if it's quite 40 or 50 feet, but it is moved up slightly. Courtney going just inside the tree, and then it skips up onto the hillside. I might give her some awkward footing. And I know I talked about it extensively before, but this is really where you need to land, right here on this road. And then it's just a matter of, are you far enough up, and can you throw a standstill approach from where you're at? Ellen's got a backhand lined up. And just pitches up to the top. And if that stays up there, all right, she's in perfectly fine position. From there, she'll pretty much have a pitch up to the pin. And with Sarah Hokom traveling to this event via plane, she came from Texas just to come over for this event, and then she's going back to Texas. So we frequently see her traveling around in her tour van. In this case, she didn't want to bring her cart that she usually uses, and so she packed along a bag of discs, and I believe that's a new addition from MVP Disc Sports. Here's Courtney with a patent pending from the hillside. she
I
says,
can't believe I didn't fall on my face just now.
Wow, I love the silver lining. She says she can't believe she didn't fall on her face just now. So, um, although she's only moved about 10 feet, it seems like her personal safety is certainly of concern. And that is a really good looking approach. We'll see just how close that is to the pin. Ellen's got a Nova in her hands. Nice, smooth, clean release. And with the lip on that disc, even though it does come to that hillside, the chances of it getting up and rolling just are not very likely. That's a very grippy putter that will usually sit down pretty easily. Elaine goes just over the hill, but I think she'll still be pretty close. So this is Hokom for her birdie. Oh, there it is. Courtney with a solid putt to save her par. Now, full disclosure, there was some really weird issue with my microphone, and unfortunately I didn't realize it until after the round, and in fact it affected both the FPO and the MPO in the afternoon. So there's going to be a couple times where rather than you listening to just blown out ridiculous static, I had sometimes cut the audio entirely. So if you're wondering why in the world you're seeing it hit chains but not make a noise, that was because I was trying to save you and your speakers from blowing out. First purchase that I'll be making here with some of that Patreon support that you guys provide is
There's still time.
a few new XLR cables, which, believe it or not, are tough to find short ones that are high quality. I'm not going to get too technical on you guys, but I could use some new cables, that's for sure. Also, I have some double G craft jerky. So many of my videos recently, I've been offering giveaways, and one of the prizes for some of them is double G craft jerky. He's got, I think, 4 different flavors. At least that's what I have. Here's Hokom with her forehand. Well, 4 shorter by about 140 feet. And it's still up on top of the hill. So a little bit of an awkward spot to be. I shouldn't say awkward. It just requires a nearly magical shot, I think, for many of our FPO players to be able to get up there and get all the way onto the green. Uh-oh, she's called her shot. She calls the forehand.
What happened, Elaine?
You know, I just feel like I needed to do a sidearm just to keep the other girls motivated.
Just about every insight we ever get from Elaine King, I feel like should be immediately transcribed and then put into a disc golf diary. Good approach by Courtney. A very awkward stance.
The drama.
A full send, full commit by Sarah Hokom to put herself up next to the pin. Ellen does have a look at this. hole 4, just not an overly accessible hole. In fact, unfortunately, there ended up being 0 birdies from the FPO division with this pin placement. Averaged 3.27, but no birdies allowed. Relinquished, given up, whatever the case might be. Hole 4 wasn't having it. And spoiler alert, hole 5 played the exact same. Now we'll see what this group does with it, but holes 4 and 5 averaged 3.27, which is really interesting that 2 back-to-back holes would average the exact same scores. We'll see how this one gets played out, though. So Ellen had opted for yet another backhand. If I recall, Sarah heavily was contemplating how she was going to attack this one. This, of course, bends way down into the left.
Now don't cut roll.
Asking for it not to cut roll.
Cut rolled.
Unfortunately, I don't think it listened to her. I got to get a shout out or two in right away. Dwayne Reeder and his wife Susan have put me up for a number of years, so huge thanks to them. Of course, huge thanks to Mike Barnett and the entire Sun King crew that come out here. Tons of helpers, employees, volunteers, countless people come out to make this temporary course a reality. And we usually see it for about a month, and that month being March.
Skinny.
Elaine likes the shot. So Sarah did get a cut roll. It basically is finished straight off of the tee. And then the one major tree she had to beat, she doesn't. So that's going to be a long look at her par. It's just inside where Courtney is here. And you can tell there's not a lot of movement on that flag. We've had a lot of conditions throughout the years here, but this one very, very blessed throughout the 2021 iteration. Temps in the mid-60s for most of the week as Ellen gives that a bid. Low winds and just a little bit of precipitation. Looks like Elaine will be settling for a par. And this is Hokom in threat of a bogey. All right, so she comes up short. And she's looking at losing a stroke to Ellen. That was a live commentary sneeze, not one during the round. Excuse me. Here's Ellen. And Ellen is on the hunt. She is now 2 under, even though that was a par. She's 2 under on the round, and Sarah Hokom is about to pick up a bogey. And just like that, the lead is now down to 5. The trickery. She's got it all. My disc in a box is your disc golf shipping supply vendor. Ellen making sure that the spotter's ready to go. I do specifically have boxes made up that are great for shipping 1 disc, or they could be folded differently to ship 2 or possibly 3 discs depending on what they are. Shipping in recyclable cardboard material, of course. And I also offer bags that you can pick up and put your discs in as well before you then put them into the box. So reach out if you're looking to ship some discs. You want to do it securely. You want to be shipping some discs that get bent or all jacked up in the mail. A couple of good shots here off the tee. Ellen's, correction, Elaine's unsure.
What's it like up there?
There's like little rows and alleyways, so
She's getting the insider knowledge, which is kind of funny. Elaine's been coming here for quite a few years, whereas this is actually, I believe, Courtney's first year competing. Courtney was here last year in 2020, but that was the weekend after pretty much all disc golf was halted. And so there was no pro version of the 2021 Throw It on the Mountain. Now, you just saw Sarah's shot, and then another shot came into frame. That was Elaine, who was up on that hillside and didn't realize that Sarah was throwing. So, no harm, no foul. And this hole plays the exact same for what we saw from the MPO. They're playing from the same tee to the same pin. Happy to give the safe sign, although there's no OB over there. I think it was just a matter of him letting us know that he's located the shot. He's doing a phenomenal job as the spotter.
Wow, Elaine. Them HCOM skills.
Great approach shot by Elaine after having to pitch out. So she's pretty much right next to the basket looking at her par. Courtney, the little forehand pitch. This comes in as the 10th most difficult hole on the FPO field, or in the FPO field. Ellen really assessing the situation here. Gets hung up just a little bit short, so she's going to be left with this as a tester, but really no testing. And she cans that one. Ellen will remain at 2 under for the round. Courtney in for the par. Elaine, after doing some pretty serious work, also just the short range Scooby. And Sarah will tap in. So, although it came in as the 10th most difficult, we had 4 pars there, and that certainly will bring down the average overall. Ellen going with the backhand. This one flips up and gets away from her a little bit. Let's see what Courtney can do. We talk so much about just how treacherous this green is. It's a really nice tunnel shot to be able to throw straight down there, but there's almost nothing you can do to control once it gets down near the green. I've seen really sharp edge discs get up and roll. I've seen putters get up and roll. I've seen mid-ranges get up and roll. There is an element of surprise / luck that can happen up there. Of course, I'd rather land close to the basket and take my chances rather than landing far away, but there is just a little bit of luck that has to happen here too. Here's Hokom with a backhand. And it hits the tree and looks like to be about circle's edge. Here's Ellen's approach. Oh no. Oh no, seriously, sit down. Oh, and she's just watching it. It goes over the OB line. And that is heartbreaking. Ellen. Oh my goodness. She's going to have to pack a lunch for that long walk all the way down there. Oh, and that is just heartbreaking. Again, keep in mind, the rules always state you can either throw from where you previously threw from or from where you were last in bounds. And in this case, she would actually have a longer shot if she went backwards to where she went out of bounds. So instead, she's going to throw from her previous spot. Also worth clarifying, had she picked up her mini and walked to that next spot and then realized that, that she wanted to actually throw from where she initially was, you can go back and get a group to decide as to where you think you were and then still play from there. I think there's this kind of misconception that, oh no, I've picked up my mini now, no matter what, I can't replace that spot. That's not correct. So Ellen pitched up to the pin and Courtney's seeing a roll. You cannot state it enough about how dangerous this green is. And now Hokom realizing that she's likely picking up at least a single stroke, if not more, on Ellen. Of course, she's still playing the course. There's plenty of golf left. But after seeing what had happened to Ellen and knowing that Ellen's the one that's most likely has the best chance to hunt her down, she is playing a little bit of a chess match with her at the same time. Courtney making sure she's got good footing. And looked a little bit high, but it all counts the same. She takes the bogey 4. Ellen just wants to be over with. We're seeing quite a bit of separation among the 4 on this card. However, it also tightens up a little bit between Courtney and then the woman sitting in 5th, which is Andrea Eaton. Also, we're seeing right behind her Leah Sinigini is trying to fight for one of those top 4 or 5 spots as well. So here's Sarah going for the hillside. And she'll have an approach from down on the bottom of the hill. Here's a forehand. I think this is a force that I see her throw a few times. A baby, her sky blue force. And to make 3 out of 4 sidearms off the tee, here's Ellen. That just needs to hook up.
Thanks.
Yeah, and that's a great shot by Ellen. The blind shot for Elaine, and here's another approach. Oh, and perfectly placed.
Yeah, I don't see a problem there. Who was it that did that?
Dude, I'd have to give both my nads to do that.
Sarah Hokom's 3 to both days.
Yeah, well, she's got this great forehand she just chunks down there.
No.
Which is perfect for this thing if you have a great forehand.
Yep.
Which I don't have.
You guys might as well just keep coming. Yeah, keep coming. Thanks, guys.
Couldn't hear
Yeah,
him,
we're
could
totally
you?
vested
Not
in
at
your
all.
story.
I didn't say a word. I didn't want Terry Miller being upset with me.
Never know who's listening to him.
Yeah, we're just running our mouths.
Right?
All right, so there's the pro tip here, folks. Not just this course, which has these valleys and such where voices really carry, but pretty much any course. Just be mindful of of where you are and your surroundings. Sarah's overhand.
No!
Oh no. Oh, we just saw
You stop it.
Ellen on the previous
You
hole.
stop it.
There's OB over there.
I'll stop it.
Don't stop
Get
it.
back in there. Get
Oh,
back
it
in.
goes out of bounds, but then rolls back in bounds. Oh, no.
Go again.
Oh, that is heartbreaking as Sarah. Oh. And she almost rings it up for the 3. Incredible shot and great composure after such a terrible break. Ellen senses that she might be able to pick up one of the strokes she just gave away on the previous hole. Oh, no, Elaine can't quite get up and down. Doesn't convert. She's going to go to 9 over. And as good of a run as Sarah had from way at the bottom of the hill, she's now left with... it's relatively short, but as you can see, that tree is directly in her way. She's going to go down to one knee. And her left leg still in a... Try this putt because I can't imagine you can generate a lot of power in keeping your balance. Wow, incredible. Great overall athleticism. Maybe we could get those MP 50, 60 guys back here to provide more accolades as they were coming down the hill. Big shout out to Steve Hollis, Mango, lending me his van so that we could do the first round commentary early on in the weekend. And fun fact, Steve Hollis had brought Madison Walker to this event many years ago, and that ended up being the first weekend Madison had played in a really big tournament, also the first weekend I had met her. And, of course, we've seen her on the tour and traveling around ever since. And here's for our final hole on the front 9. And staying mostly clean is the forehand there by Courtney. The slightly shorter tee pad. I think making this one a little bit more attackable at 305 feet. I'm guessing this is going to be one of the more difficult holes on the course. Thanks to the PDGA app, I can actually validate my hunch one way or another. And wow, I genuinely did not know. Yes, this does come in as the single most difficult hole on the course, averaging 3.73. Ooh, and Sarah with a great line. And leaving a little meat on it. That one, Courtney's gonna have to dial in as
Thanks.
a great approach shot there by Ellen. Big shout out. Courtney had helped with some of the graphics for putting some of the action together this weekend. So I definitely want to thank her, along with Trevor, who had been featured in the first round and then also did some of his first commentary on my channel. So really appreciate the both of them. Make sure you guys check them out. They've got some coffee blend that you can support them with purchasing, and of course their respective sponsors in Discraft and DGA as well. High Fives and Heiser Flips is another way you can find them. Courtney just off the mark. I also very much appreciate any and all kind words that have been said. I know this is just single camera. I know it's single commentary for the most part, but trying to get as much coverage out as quickly as possible for you guys in a very busy time of the year. And we're going to take a look at where the scores shake out through this front nine. Of course, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to all those YouTube things. We've got Craft Jerky and Disc to give away, but right now, Sarah still sits in first. Ellen Widboom has picked up just a single stroke on her overall, and Elaine looks to be comfortable in third, and I think we're going to see how the rest of it shakes out. We'll see you in the back nine.